This video contains elements which may give away critical parts of the story if you haven't already watched the earlier videos, the links for which can be found in the description box. Hello everyone and welcome to My Frequencies. This video is not strictly speaking part of my Catterstock Lodge investigation series, but rather a video response to a comment I recently received on one of the videos in that series from another YouTube user calling themselves Thumper427. Thumper said, "What exactly are your intentions with all of this? I note you are quick to persecute people ransacking the house, but this is what you are doing. Throwing slides around and actually removing Soulsby's property from the house and taking it with you. This is theft and extremely disrespectful. Oh, and it's not the case that people on 28 days later aren't as good as you. It's just that people have chosen out of respect to keep personal information of the deceased off the public domain, as no permission has been sought from remaining family to check if they want their relative's life sifted through and investigated by Joe Blogs." Rather than attempt to defend myself in the comment section of the video, I decided that a video response might be more appropriate. My series of videos on the lodge has attracted many views, and among the feedback received, a couple of dislikes, and I imagine these people may have had similar feelings to those of Thumper. In my defence, on my first visit to the house, I never in a million years would have imagined the depth and detail of the information I would find. I've been into many abandoned buildings, and usually all you find is a bit of broken furniture and some old newspapers. The case of Catterstock Lodge is unique in that the place was abandoned rather abruptly when the last remaining family member died, and whoever is now responsible for the place, whoever owns it, seems to be a bit of a grey area. This unique set of circumstances has created an environment where personal possessions are still to be found, personal communications and documents. The place has been unoccupied for several years, and in fact, even when the last family member still lived, she spent very little time there. It has been ransacked by burglars who removed all of the true valuables, and non-malicious explorers such as myself who would have taken less valuable but nevertheless still interesting items as souvenirs. I had expected to be surrounded by nothing more than rubble and meaningless junk, and that I'd be making up a fictional tale as I went along, to explain what may have happened. It was going to be a comedy piece originally. It was only as my investigation developed that I realised there really was a story here to be told, and that it was a personal one. My respect for the Soulsby family grew rapidly as I learnt about them, but my characteristic gung-ho approach did not depart as a result of that. This was in fact my second visit to the property, the first having been a random encounter whilst on a bicycle tour some months earlier, and I had not been able to get the place out of my head. Something was calling me back there. Somehow, I felt as if I'd been chosen, presumably for my particular set of skills, to tell this story, and it was a role I eventually began to take a little more seriously. But here's the thing, whatever chose me not in spite of, but because I'm an irreverent cowboy. If they'd wanted the local vicar, presumably they'd have tapped him. Do you see my point? I actually feel like I am working for and on behalf of the family. At no point in the many hours I have spent there did I detect the slightest paranormal activity, no emotional distress, no residual pain or torment. When I found the Soulsby's graves in the local cemetery, there was absolute peace, no regrets. There was an overall sadness in the house, a disappointment almost, and a palpable sense that this place just wanted its story to be told before the inevitable clearing and redevelopment of the site, at a still as yet unknown point in the future. The story has to be told. The past must be unearthed before it can finally give way to the present. Here is the scene from the original video where I find concrete confirmation of some of the Soulsby's deaths with dates, and confirmation of most of the family's names. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. This is again addressed to Mrs. N. Crump, Streatham, London. "It is with the greatest regret that I have to inform you of the sad passing of my dear father, our managing director, Mr. Percy George Soulsby, on Friday, September 26th, at the age of 76 years, after a distressing illness borne courageously. Mr. Soulsby, together with his wife, Margaretta," I've got the wife's name now, Margaretta, "founded this association over 45 years ago. His friends and associates will be received afterwards at his country home, Catterstock Lodge, to which address flowers may be sent." That, my friends, is a bona fide piece of evidence. You can see in my face and hear in my voice that there is absolutely no menace or ill will in my actions. This is genuine excitement, which I would imagine a lot of people who watch this far into the story must share. Here is the scene right after I'd located the graves in the second instalment of my series, in the local churchyard. Okay, so that was enlightening because we found 4 graves, one of which was another Margaretta Soulsby. That's definitely who wrote that letter, and she died in 2016, the lady in the grave over there. So I felt triumphant. I was actually experiencing joy to find that the family were, with the exception of Sheila, all lying peacefully side by side. I feel that the music I chose for the scene and the editing conveyed genuine respect despite my characteristic humour never being too far away, joking with the deceased as I searched the headstones for the Soulsbys. I realise my style and my techniques, if you can call them such, are not going to be to everyone's taste, but I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm not a TV channel. I'm not sugarcoating anything, and yes, I do put a lot of personal energy into my channel, and some of it is a little choppy at times. Everyone's processing pain at some level, and I found YouTube to be an excellent and productive outlet for that. No apologies. My philosophy is to make videos first and foremost because I enjoy doing so. I am curious about the world and want to share my unique perspective. Secondly, I do so for those who share my sense of humour, my sense of adventure, and my arguably somewhat wonky moral compass. What I don't consider at all is the opinion of those who perhaps just aren't on this frequency. YouTube's a big site, plenty more wholesome channels out there, and if you're really stuck, there's always TV. All that being said, I am extremely grateful for the ego check, Thumper, and I look forward to your response to see if we are any closer to meeting in the middle on this issue. Any future visits I make to the site will be conducted with greater respect for the site and for the Soulsby family. Thank you.